The Portland Trailblazers are on the brink of yet another NBA season of not making the playoffs on Damian Lillard's watch. If you had a crystal ball and you could look into the future for the Portland Trailblazers, what's next?
Once they remove themselves from Terry Stotts as being their coach, I just knew this next phase would be the one to jumpstart a season past the first round. I just knew it. I felt it, right? And then Damian Lillard was injured. And then I said, oh my gosh, if we can capture the 2020 bubble Portland Trailblazers, right, before Dame's injury, I just wonder what that will look like in the future. So I just, part of me says blow it up. And then there's another part of me that says no, because I just want to see what this looks like now that they've added Cam Reddish to the roster. Now that Matisse Thybulle is there, what would this nucleus look like with them for a full season? So I just don't know. What about you?
Well, despite the wishes of Damian Lillard, I think they need to blow it up. I think they need to start
Really?
fresh. I think they need to start the rebuilding process and try to get some young talent and picks or another star, for the Portland Trailblazers. I mean, what are we talking about? Dame is a 7-time All-Star. Yes. Not taking anything away from his greatness. Probably one of the best shooters in the NBA that we've seen. He's part of the NBA 75 team, but he has no championship rings. I don't know that it'll ever happen for him for the Portland Trailblazers. I don't know that. However, I can tell you that looking into the past, the Portland Trailblazers have had 5 first-round exits with Damian Lillard. They've had 3 seasons where they didn't even make the playoffs, 2 seasons where they only went to the conference semis, and then they made it to the Western Conference Finals once, but they were swept by the Golden State Warriors. What are we talking about here? They have to give the keys to Anthony Simons
I can agree with.
build around him. I think it's over. And I think the first domino was Terry Stotts being released, right? And then when they got rid of CJ McCollum, I said, okay, this is the end of an era, but they held on to Dame. But now it's time to move on from Dame. We need to start fresh in Portland. They have to.
Yeah, I don't think the move on from Dame is the answer. I do think the adjustment to Anthony Simons is, right? It's almost like what Golden State Warriors are doing with Poole and Curry in a sense,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So perhaps it's just a shift because I think Dame is pretty much a namesake in Portland. I don't see him going anywhere else to be happy, right? So I just think that he needs to remain, and I'm fine with that veteran leadership and all that good stuff. But I think it is time to shift and maybe now put Anthony Simons as a focal point of their building of their new roster as opposed to it being Dame Lillard. Right. So what would the fit be? Because I think Damian Lillard would be fine wherever they put him he will still be the leader of the rotation or the main star in Portland. But if they consider a build around Anthony Simons and what his needs would be, then naturally everything would naturally shift. That's what I'm saying. So I think Dame should stay in Portland. I think they do need to have Anthony Simons. I would love to see what Anthony Simons, Cam Reddish, what does that look like? Because I think Cam Reddish have something to offer. Now, they may want to even consider coming in with another center. Perhaps Yusuf Nurkic is no longer what they need for this next iteration of what the Portland Trailblazers can bring to the league. But no, keep Dame. I'm okay with that, but shift the mindset of who they build around. For me, would be probably the best bet for the next few seasons.
And that's interesting because I don't see Dame being on the team and giving the keys to Anthony Simons.
I don't think he needs to give the keys to Anthony Simons. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying the organization can build around the needs of Anthony Simons, and then naturally, Dame will find himself retired. Like it's just going to happen. What are they doing in Golden State right now? They haven't given the keys to Jordan Poole, but they know that Jordan Poole is their future. Why can't that be the same transition? They're not telling Curry that he needs to leave. Right?
Okay.
That I'm saying, so mirror that. Whatever the Golden State Warriors are doing with Jordan Poole and Curry, do the same thing with Anthony Simons and Damian Lillard, where they both still the stars can still reap their benefits of being the stars of their particular franchises. That's all I'm saying. That's kind of how.
Okay. Okay. The only thing I see is that the Portland Trailblazers don't have that next core waiting to take over. You know, when I look at their roster, and the only way that it could happen is if they get rid of Dame so that they can get some young talent and or picks, you know, because Dame is taking up a lot of their salary cap. I mean, when he's 32 right now, making 42 million, but when he's 36, his contract goes all the way to 2027. He's going to be making $63 million a year. You mean is he going to be earning that? You know, is he going to be playing up to that level then? I don't know at age 36.
I can see Dame still shooting the way he shoots. Yeah, he's a shooter. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Yeah. We're not talking about somebody who's dropped down on defense. I mean, that ain't who he is, right? So, I mean, yeah, I can see him still being able to, shoot at a high clip at 36. I don't see him being able to, he hasn't. His game is not centered around stops and blocks and defense. That's not his game. It's just not. And I think he's a little bit more finesse. Can see him still being able to shoot at a high clip at 36. Yes, because that's what
Okay,
he
I
is. He's a
mean,
shooter. But I
that's
think,
fair.
again, when we're talking about building what the next franchise looks like, it's going to have to be on the next young player for me, which is Anthony Simons, because he can give you at least a little bit. He can give you offense and defense because he's so
Yes.
young, right?
Yeah.
Dame has played 58 games this year. What does it look like with him fully healthy, playing a full season? I mean, that's just what I'm saying. I do believe, though, that the trade for CJ McCollum, it did hinder their growth. I
Oh
understand
yeah, definitely.
that. I'm sorry. I know that CJ is flourishing in doing what he's supposed to do in the Pelicans, but when they traded that tandem, when they dismantled that tandem, it set them back a bit.
Absolutely.
And you know what? And I wonder what how does Jeremy Grant feel? Right? Because he should be another one that really the franchise should be trying to center around. Again, Dame's still the man, but we're gonna build around our younger players, if that makes sense. I don't even know how to explain it, but it has to be something. He makes too much money to go anywhere else.
I'm saying
Yeah.
exactly. Well, I think everyone is disposable except Anthony Simons,
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Grant, and their young rookie in Sharp. That's it.
Mm.
I say we gut everything. We get rid of Dame because he has. I think his stock is at an all time high right now. I can only imagine what the Trailblazers can get for him right now.
Yeah, but see, this is a deal. If we look around the league and what's happening right now with these franchises gutting their teams to acquire a top talent player, and what that is currently producing is not successful. So our team is going to continue to go in that route. I would hope they would not. That's the only thing I'm saying. Are we willing to take that risk and now bring over somebody and make one of our future players, i.e., Dallas Mavs, unhappy? Franchises going to continue to do that because that's exactly what they'll be doing if any team is trying to acquire Dame Lillard. Who else they going to be? They're going to be in the same boat as the Trailblazers are in right now. Am I missing it?
I no, you're not missing it. That's just how it is. When you look at the dollars, I mean, that's how it boils down. I mean, he's making $42 million this season. But let's just forget about that. But next season, $45 million. You can get three $15 million players for his salary. I think that will help the Portland Trailblazers tremendously because we can't keep going through this cycle year after year. And Dame keeps saying, oh, he wants to win a championship in Portland. It's not going to happen. Superstars aren't kicking down the door to come to the Portland Trailblazers. They have to make a shift. General Manager Neil O'Shea has to relook at this because at this point, it's just insanity. I mean, they just keep doing the same thing over and over, and
And I
nothing's changing.
and I understand that from a Portland Trailblazers perspective. But what team would want Dame on their roster? Having to give up so much and potentially have a roster just like what Portland's dealing with right now. Who's in the market for that?
I will have to look at it. I don't
I'm
know.
just curious. This is just a question. It's a rhetorical question. If
Oh,
somebody knows
gotcha.
how to answer it, in the comments, go ahead and do that. I'm just wondering what does that look like because they know if they do acquire Dame Lillard, they're going to have to give them some solid pieces. And what will they be left with?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Let's look at the spaghetti that's stuck on the wall, people. At the end of the day, teams have done that this season, and we're looking at them like, what is going on? the Brooklyn Nets didn't tell y'all something, I don't know what else is gonna tell you. But the Dallas Mavericks,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you. Right?
Right.
Will teams continue to do that? Because again, the Portland Trailblazers can win in the end, absolutely. With your proposing, absolutely. But what does that mean for the other team? They willing to take that risk based off of what they've seen recently? Ooh.
Well, one thing is for sure, they need to keep Chauncey Billups. I think they need to give him a fair chance with a decent roster.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yes.
He has like, I think 3 more seasons on his contract. He needs to write out the end of.
Oh,
if y'all was able to hold on to Terry Stotts for 9, you can at least give Chauncey Billups another 3. Oh yeah, I agree. He needs to stay there. Yes.